Can I go home now? Oh, I got a show to do. Happy New Year! It is Thursday, the 31st day of December 2020, the 366th day of the year. Let's just get this baby over with. What do you say? It's been a trying year for almost everybody, but hey, we're almost, 2020 is almost in the rearview mirror. In some locations, it already is. Happy New Year, New Zealand, Australia, Tokyo. Those folks they're already celebrating 2021. We will do so at midnight. I can't do the math in my head. I'm not that bright. A little bit of light snow overnight. Tow truck drivers are doing the bang up business this morning, if you pardon the pun. No serious accidents going on. We're okay in that department, but some spin outs and some oopsie doopsies out there. The snow was a little unexpected, but it's out there. In the valley, on the valley floor, the main arterials are pretty good. A little gloshy, a little gloppy, a little slushy. These are words I'm making up. But it's the upper elevations. Sunny Slopes had a few in the Sunny Slope area. I've had a few spin outs, Fancher Heights, those kinds of places. But you're not going to believe some of the high temperatures we're going to see over the weekend. In fact, it's going to be very mild at times over the weekend. So get ready for some big time snow melt with big time snow coming to the Cascades. Forecast details are coming up. We got news. We got sports. We'll talk a little college basketball. One more preview of the Seahawks and the 49ers, who will do battle in Arizona over the weekend. We're doing that today instead of tomorrow because we're not here tomorrow. We got New Year's Day off, and I'm all for that. Plus everything else you need to start and wrap up 2020. Wrap up the year. We'll have the obscure holiday. Mike McKnight's got an opinion and elsewhere. And yesterday we had a chance to check in via Skype with Alan Walker, the executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. I wanted to get a kind of a year in review from Alan's perspective. We're going to have that for you in the back half of the program. All right. One more time with Malcolm, who's pushing the buttons, filling in for the vacationing Megan, who will be back on Monday. Let's see what we got. Malcolm, there you go. He's a little slow today, folks. Yeah, kind of a little slack. Good morning to downtown Wenatchee from our Cascadian camera, looking to the south on a very quiet commute. Not a lot of people are sleeping in. I think probably getting ready for tonight's festivities, which will be extremely low key in this COVID world of ours. So we say good morning to downtown Wenatchee, United States of America. There's downtown Arundel Rock, way off in the distance is Wenatchee. That's really cool. See how the lights of the city have lit up the sky in the background there. That's a cool view there, and that's actually a ways, of course, from Wenatchee proper, maybe 10, 12 miles from there to the Wenatchee Valley. But that's a cool view from our Arundel Rock camera on this Thursday morning. And as you can see, it looks like the highway there to your left is pretty passable. Camera number 3. It's good morning to McNeil Canyon. Somewhere out there is Lake Chelan. The lake hasn't gone anywhere to my knowledge. If you live up at Lake Chelan, take a look out the window and tell me if the lake is still there. It looks like it's really fogged over. Lots of clouds, lots of fog. There's some ice fog in some locations as well. That has been making for some slick driving conditions. So good morning to our friends up to the north. Finally, camera 4, Apple Annie's, I believe, high above the Apple Annie's Antique Mall, looking down over beautiful Cashmere, Washington, U.S. of A. Very light traffic this morning. And look how slow it's going. Now, normally those cars would be going much faster, but hey, we had that freak overnight snow event that we weren't expecting. And that's part and parcel. Don't have a slide to show for you. Let's jump right into the forecast from the National Weather Service. And we're looking at kind of cool and gray and foggy and cloudy and misty. And what the heck is that for New Year's? Oh, that's nice, Malcolm. 38 for your high today. Lots of clouds. So we're going to see some snow melt. 31 for the overnight low tonight. On New Year's Day, pretty quiet, cloudy, a little bit of precipitation. Snow level is going to be about 3,400 feet tomorrow. We could get a couple of snowflakes early on New Year's Day, and then if we get any precipitation at all in the afternoon, it'll come down in the form of rain. And as you can see, we'll top off at 38 again on Friday. Saturday, cloudy, foggy, rainy, 42. That's not a misprint. 45 with some breaks on Sunday. Told you we're going to have some snow melt for the Wenatchee Valley, and we go back to work on Monday. Back to school in a way, if you will, with cloudy skies, rainy conditions, very mild temperatures All of these temperatures, of course, as you might imagine, well above normal. Our normal high for this time of the year is right about 30 degrees. Yesterday we hit 32 for the afternoon high, 24 for the overnight low on Wednesday. Don't know how much snow they got up at Pangbourne where they measure these things because it wasn't on their website for reasons unknown. Sunrise this morning, still 7:48. Sunrise has been at 7:48 for the last week or so. It's the sunset that's getting a little bit later. We'll have 8 hours and 32 minutes of daylight today on this final day of 2020. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have your headlines on this Thursday morning. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Discover the magic of the holidays in iconic Lake Chelan. Enjoy wintry wine tastings, head outdoors to ski, hike, or just have fun. Come experience the breathtaking light displays, celebrate the season with neighborhood Santa parades, or find just the right thing in our local boutiques. Your family is invited to join in our family traditions. Shop local, buy local, play local. Learn more at smalltownholidays.com.
CVCH wants to make your winter just a little brighter with their Get Out and Explore gift giveaway. This December and January, visit cvchgetout.com and download fun, safe, and simple activity guides to 4 beautiful towns in our backyard: Wenatchee, Chelan, Cashmere, and Leavenworth. Most activities are free of charge and unique to the community you visit. So get out and explore. Visit cvchgetout.com for details.
We are back at 7 minutes after the hour. I forgot the passes. Oops. That's how this day is going for me. Let's take you up to the Cascades because it's very important. We got to keep you in the loop on there. That's a live shot of I-90. Traction tires are required. It is snowing to beat the band up there. It is really coming down on Snoqualmie Pass. Again, traction tires are required. Stevens Pass. Yeah, it's snowing. Being 1,000 feet higher in elevation than I-90, that makes perfect sense. Traction tires are required on Stevens, just like they are on I-90. And on Blewett Pass, yeah, it's snowing. It's snowing hard on Blewett. Right now, it's a traction tire advisory. But with the amount of snow coming down on Blewett, they may change that to a requirement in the not-too-distant future. That's up to the State Patrol to make that call. So again, snowing hard on I-90. Traction tires are required. Snowing hard on Stevens Pass. Traction tires are required. Snowing hard on Blewett Pass. Traction tires are advised. Total snowfall from today through the end of the weekend, Sunday, anywhere from 15 to 32 inches of new snow in the Cascades. It's going to snow pretty consistent for the next 3.5, 4 days. Now we'll take a look at your headlines. Grand County reported 10 more COVID-19 deaths on Tuesday. 7 of those residents are residents of long-term care facilities. The Grand County Health District said there have now been 43 deaths at the 3 senior homes in the county since the outbreak began at those facilities back in November. All the latest deaths involved people with underlying health conditions. 5 were residents of McKay Healthcare and Rehab Center in Moses Lake, bringing that facility's total COVID-19 death rate to 16. 1 man in his 50s, 2 women in their 80s, and 2 others, women in their 90s. The Lake Ridge Center in Grant County, they had another death, a man in his 80s. That brings that facility's total to 17. And finally, Columbia Crest Center in Moses Lake reported its 10th death, a man in his 70s. 3 Moses Lake men in their 60s who were not residents of senior homes also passed away. All 3 of those had underlying health issues. Grant County has had 83 deaths attributed to the virus and 7 suspected COVID-19 deaths that have not yet been announced as the health district awaits official confirmation on the death certificates. Governor Jay Inslee yesterday morning extending his restrictions on businesses and gatherings for another week, saying next week he'll be announcing an updated plan for reopening safely. Inslee's order, originally issued back on November 17th, was in response to a resurgence of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations here in our state. Among other things, of course, his order bans indoor service at restaurants and bars. It was due to expire on Monday, but it has been extended for a second time. The order also shuts down indoor fitness facilities, gyms, bowling alleys, movie theaters, what have you. On East Wenatchee police believe a man died by suicide early yesterday morning after jumping from the Pipeline pedestrian bridge. Chief Rick Johnson says officers from his agency and the Wenatchee Police Department, they began searching for the man after his family told them that he had expressed suicidal intent. Location data from his cell phone and a security video from the Chelan County PUD appeared to confirm that he did jump from the bridge into the Columbia River about 3:15 yesterday morning. Johnson said a search of the water by boat did not locate the victim yet. The man's identity has not been disclosed. The Washington State Department of Corrections says selected prison inmates in Washington have begun receiving vaccinations for COVID-19. DOC's vaccine plan prioritizes its medical staff and the oldest and most chronically ill inmates residing at the Coyote Ridge Corrections Center near Connell. Altogether, about 60 geriatric inmates may receive the vaccine. The DOC says it's begun vaccinating staff and incarcerated patients, and the process will continue over the next several weeks, depending on vaccine supplies. In all the negotiations over budgets and the COVID-19 relief bills in the other Washington, two bills promoted and sponsored by 8th District Representative Kim Schreier became law. The Appropriations Act, signed Sunday by President Donald Trump, includes text from Schreier's Vaccines Act that would invest in local vaccine initiatives and education to counteract vaccine misinformation. Another measure ensures federal funding to support recovery and habitat restoration for endangered salmon and steelhead. Altogether, the Democratic Congresswoman has had 8 bills signed into law in her first term. Douglas County's 3 PUD commissioners have reassigned their roles for next year. Aaron V. Brock will be the president of the board. That starts next week. V. Brock has served on the board since 2017. Commissioners voted him into the new leadership position on Monday. Outgoing President Molly Simpson becomes vice president of the board, while Commissioner Ron Skagen moves from vice president to secretary treasurer. And Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort welcomed a whole bunch of new snow yesterday and some more today. The resort outside Wenatchee continues its extended hours. Night skiing began this week, and the resort is operating from 9 a.m. to 9 o'clock through Saturday. And here's a little video that Mission Ridge produced showing people having fun on the slopes. And that's a look at what's making headlines on this New Year's Eve 2020. We will have one last newscast to get to before we wrap up the year with Grant and Eric and the whole crew, because everybody will be off tomorrow for the New Year's Day holiday with a preview of some of the stories we're working on. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, drier and a little warmer as we close out 2020 today, but expect more wet weather this weekend. I'll have your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has more on the Seahawks as they prepare for the 49ers this weekend. That and all the day's news as we close out 2020, coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. And don't forget, you can watch the news on demand. We'll have it up and running on our website just about 5 o'clock tonight. So you're not tied into watching it on television at 5, 6, or 10. You can watch it whenever you want to, right around 5 o'clock on your smart device via our website with links on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page as well. At the bottom of your screen are any number of ways you can get a hold of us. You can use Facebook if you want. We prefer that if you want to get a hold of us on Facebook, you go to our Facebook page. It simply simplifies things. You can also email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or you can contact us via our website. Pretty self-explanatory. Go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and it's down the road you go. Going to take a break. When we come back, in the world of sports, we'll talk Gonzaga basketball, plus football, plus football, plus football, and even more football. We'll have the obscure holiday, which isn't so obscure. Today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Mike McKnighty's got an opinion, and we'll catch up with Alan Walker from the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. You're watching a New Year's Eve edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Celebrate the holidays with your friends and neighbors. Stop by and exchange a warm smile and a holiday greeting with these local businesses.
If your heating or cooling unit needs routine maintenance or an emergency repair, give Climatech a call. The staff at Climatech send your family warmest wishes for this Christmas season.
Fresh dough, real cheese, tasty ingredients, pizza made to order. From their kitchen to your oven, Papa Murphy's Pizza. Order today. Happy holidays from our family to yours.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
18 minutes after the hour, cloudy, foggy, even some freezing fog, we're told, in some locations. 25 degrees. We're going to be in the upper 30s today, and tomorrow we'll be in the 40s for our afternoon highs over the weekend. Get ready for some snowmelt. And let's talk sports. The Gonzaga women, they used a balanced attack to beat Pepperdine last night, 58-42. Jill Townsend leading the way, 13 points, and sisters Leanne and Jen Worth each had 12. So the Bulldogs improved to 2-0 in conference play, 7-2 on the season. The 23rd ranked Gonzaga women are off until Saturday. That's when they host St. Mary's at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Also on the women's basketball schedule for tomorrow, let's take a look. Washington State is scheduled at Utah. We have to say that now because of everything going on COVID. Don't really know if they're going to play until they tip off at 11 a.m. Washington will be at Colorado at 2. On Sunday, they switch sites. Washington State plays at Colorado at 11, and the Huskies and the Utes will follow in Salt Lake City at 1 o'clock. Men's college basketball today. The Huskies, they'll host Arizona at 5 on the Pac-12 network. Washington State and Arizona State, they were postponed. Arizona State has some COVID-19 issues. And then on Saturday, it's Washington hosting ASU, we think, at 3:30. And number 1, Gonzaga will host the Dons from San Francisco at 7 o'clock. And Washington State will take on Arizona at 7:30. All right, to the NCW Life Channel lineup for tonight and into the new year. Here's our schedule. Hockey night tonight takes us back to the start of last season for the Wenatchee Wild when they hosted Vernon at the Town Toyota Center back on September 13th of 2019. Arch Ecker with the call at 7 o'clock. Big Nine playoff basketball Friday night as we ring in the new year with last year's tilt between the Panthers and the Wildcats from Eastmont High School. The boys game called by Eric begins tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And then Eric will be back courtside at Wenatchee High School Saturday. Regional playoff basketball at 2 o'clock. You got Cashmere and Kingsway Christian in the boys 1A tournament at 7. The Cashmere girls against Nooksack Valley. And then we have a double dip of hockey on Sunday with Arch on the call. The Wild and Vernon at 2 o'clock in Wenatchee and Trail at 7. Seahawks will be in Arizona to take on the 49ers Sunday, 1:25 kickoff. San Francisco's home county in California has limitations on activities because of coronavirus, so the Niners had to move the rest of their season to Glendale. No matter where the game is played, Coach Pete Carroll said we're going to have to keep an eye on fullback Kyle Juszczyk. He says the Pro Bowler out of Harvard is a handful.
Oh man, he does everything. He's a great player. He is as meaningful a part of an offense as any player in the NFL. I mean, he just, other than the quarterback position, he has so much that he offers in offense, and he's so good at so many things. I think he's in the Pro Bowl for the 5th or 6th time or something in a row, I mean, because he's the only one doing what he does. He's that special. He can play tight end. He can be out of the backfield. He can lead, on all the blocking principles that they have. He can carry the football. He's good in the red zone. He's good in short yardage. He's just a great football player, and I think it's a really great statement that Kyle made when he chose him. Early on, he went out and sought him out and paid him, and knew exactly what he was going to do with him. And boy, they haven't missed a beat. He's really a big time player.
At the halfway point of the season, of course, a lot of people were calling for Ken Norton Jr.'s job as the defensive coordinator. Of course, it was a dreadful halfway point for the Seahawks. They were giving up historically bad numbers through the air, but Ken Norton says the turnaround was a matter of sticking to what they believed in.
Well, you just have to play the game long enough. And if you watch the games, the numbers were not telling the story. The guys would play fantastic football for 3 quarters, and then we'd be up so many points, and all of a sudden, it wasn't as sharp as it needed to be. It was a matter of playing a full game. It's a matter of being consistent. It's a matter of the right players and the right group staying together, and having a constant one set of guys, and it was a revolving door by different guys coming in. But at the end of the day, it's about playing ball the right way, doing right longer, and you just have to take your hats off to the guys of believing, understanding the scheme, really not taking anything and just deciding the type of team they wanted to be and type of commitment that they put to it. And now all their hard work is paying off.
Norton is the son of the late Ken Norton Sr., the former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, and he says he'd learned a lot from his dad about rolling with the punches.
Being a part of his career from birth all the way to middle school, 1 week, he gets knocked out and everybody hates him and the whole world saying he should retire, and then the next week he breaks Ali's jaw and he's the toast of the town and he's the baddest man on the planet. And that works down to me, and as I'm growing up through school, 1 week, I'm in front of the line in the lunchroom, and the next week, we're having an assembly about my father and how he needs to quit fighting and change trainers and things like that. So it's just time on task. It's just setting a great example. It's just really understanding and believing in your skills, the confidence, and just working. And then having a fighter's blood, you have to just continue to fight, keep your hands up, and just stay on course.
For 9-year veteran linebacker Bobby Wagner, the arrows that were slung Ken Norton's way were completely unfair. And now that things have turned around, he says, how about a little praise for Mr. Norton?
I don't know if y'all should be eating some crow, but I definitely think that there's some praise. I think oftentimes when something's not going right, everybody is quick to have a negative opinion. But then when it's fixed or when it does something, when it changes, that positive side of it doesn't necessarily get, as pushed out there or as amplified as the negative side. So I would say, for everybody who was talking trash or having their negative opinion about Norton, I would like to hear, the positive just as loud as the negative. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say. For us, we didn't never focus on it. We understood it wasn't just him. We understood it was all of us. We all played a part in, what we were doing in the beginning of the season versus where we are now. And so he deserves a lot of praise. He deserves a lot of, he's a big reason for why we're able to change it around. And I would like to hear a little bit more positivity.
Will the defensive turnaround continue? We'll find out Sunday. Seahawks and the 49ers in Glendale, Arizona. Kickoff 1:25. You can check local listings or you can watch the game on Fox. That's where it'll be. Of course, it was a shortened season for college football, but there's still plenty of bowl games to watch over the next few days. You got 3 bowl games today, beginning with the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, 9 o'clock kickoff, ESPN. It'll be Tulsa and Mississippi State. Mississippi State is 3-7 on the year, and yet they still get to go to a bowl game. At 11 o'clock on CBS, it's the Offer Pad Arizona Bowl, featuring Ball State and San Jose State. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, it is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on ESPN between West Virginia and Army. Then wall-to-wall college football all day tomorrow. It starts at 9 a.m. with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta on ESPN between Cincinnati and Georgia. Then you have the VRBO Citrus Bowl at 11 o'clock on ABC. That's Auburn and Northwestern. The college football playoff semifinals begins with the Rose Bowl presented by Capital One at 1 o'clock on ESPN. The granddaddy of them all, number 1 Alabama, number 4 Notre Dame. And then at 5 o'clock on ESPN, the All-State Sugar Bowl from Nolens. You got number 2 Clemson against number 3 Ohio State. Go Ohio State, but we're not done there. 4 more bowl games on Saturday. It begins at 9 a.m. on ESPN with the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl between North Carolina State and Kentucky. After that, at 9:30 on ABC, Ole Miss and Indiana in the Outback Bowl. At 1 o'clock on ESPN, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, pitting Oregon against Iowa State. And then at 5 o'clock on Saturday night on ESPN, the Capital One Orange Bowl, Texas A&M, North Carolina from Miami. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this New Year's Eve. And yes, the holiday of the day is New Year's Eve. Everybody's familiar with the concept of New Year's Eve. It's the last day of the year. People get together and celebrate the outgoing year, or in this case, say good riddance to the outgoing year, and set their gaze towards the positivity of a new year when things seem possible, good things seem possible. Almost all of the big celebrations that we normally associate with New Year's Eve isn't going to happen. They're going to do a virtual thing at the Space Needle in Seattle. There will be a ball drop at Times Square in New York City. They've been doing that since like 1907, but of course, it won't be having any crowds there. In Germany, they have a big party called St. Sylvester Day, and I mean, it's huge. They basically take over all of downtown Berlin, millions and millions and millions of people. Live acts, music, magic, fireworks, light shows, tons of fun. Ain't going to do it this year. In Iceland, they go to church, and then they get hammered, so I'm told. But going to church on New Year's Eve is an Icelandic tradition. Happy New Year's Eve. I will be unconscious at 12 o'clock. I have not been awake for the new year at 12 midnight on New Year's Eve for 20 years, maybe even longer. The hours that I work kind of make that impossible. 28 minutes after the hour today in history, 2 very significant professional football games. The Ice Bowl took place on this date, New Year's Eve, 1967. The Ice Bowl, the famous Ice Bowl, we have some footage. The Green Bay Packers defeating the Dallas Cowboys 21-17 to win the NFC Championship and move on to the Super Bowl. It was called the Ice Bowl because it was really, 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 really cold. Game time temperature at Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. It was 15 degrees below zero. You factor in the wind chill, it was 48 degrees below zero. Bart Starr scoring the winning touchdown, going over right guard Jerry Kramer, and the Packers will be the champions of the National Football Conference and will move on to play in the Super Bowl, which luckily was held in Miami, where it was not minus 14 degrees. By the way, no copy of the complete telecast is known to exist, although NFL Films filmed the game. They didn't film every play of the game. I remember watching the Fog Bowl. This happened 32 years ago today, New Year's Eve 1988 at Soldier Field in Chicago. Check this out. It started out as a beautiful, sunny, cold, but sunny day right along the shores of Lake Michigan in beautiful Chicago for the NFC Divisional Playoff between the Eagles and the Bears. Beautiful day for football for these two teams. The Bears and the Eagles did battle on a very nice, beautiful day in the Windy City. Chicago taking an early lead there. And then, well, as the game progressed, the fog began to roll in, and the fog got a little thicker. And the fog got a little thicker. And of course, in the world of television sports, as we all know, the cameras are up high, in the 50-yard line and camera platforms. And so you can see the entire field. Well, you couldn't see the entire field. The fog kept getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And 65,534 fans witnessed the game that they couldn't actually see. Not even on TV. The entire fourth quarter was just, you saw it. That was it. They couldn't even call the game. They didn't know what the heck was going on. By the way, the Bears beat the Eagles 20-12. And finally, on this date, 9 years ago, December 31st, 2011, in Samoa, it didn't happen. The island nation of Samoa in the southern Pacific Ocean, on December 31st, 2011, changed time zones from one side of the international date line to the other. You can see the international date line there. And as a result, December 31st, 2011, in Samoa, didn't exist. They went from December 30th to January 1st. Must have really stunk if you had a birthday on December 31st and you lived in Samoa. Anyway. Speaking of birthdays, the very first 5-star general in this country's history and one of the greatest Americans this country has ever produced, George Catlett Marshall, born in the state in 1880. Died in 1959 at the age of 78, the very first 5-star general ever, Army Chief of Staff during World War II, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State. Harry Truman considered him the greatest American he ever knew, and he was a phenomenal human being. George Marshall, the legend, born in the state in 1880. Speaking of legends, Don James, longtime head football coach of the University of Washington, inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1997, 4 times a champion of the Rose Bowl, the 1985 Orange Bowl champions, the 1991 national champions. He went 10-5 in bowl games, and he was the 3-time National Coach of the Year. In 1977, 1984, and 1991, Don James died in 2013 at the age of 80. Anthony Hopkins, Best Actor for Silence of the Lambs. He just freaked me out in that movie. Remains of the Day, Nixon, Amistad, the Westworld, the 2 popes. Happy 83rd birthday to Anthony Hopkins. And Des McPherson. Des McPherson is the father of the person who normally produces this program, but she's taking some time off. Happy birthday, Des. Megan will not tell me how old you are. We are going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McNally's got an opinion, then we'll catch up with Alan Walker, the executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, You ever think about this? You have a girlfriend or a wife that sometimes you don't treat them very nice. You figure, hey, this is my private life. It's nobody's business if I'm a jerk now and then. Besides, you think the wife, the girlfriend, she's sometimes less than pleasant herself. So it's her fault if I get mad at her and call her names or something like that. Well, let me tell you, there's a good chance that someone's therapist knows all about you. I mean, you never know. If you ask any mental health professional, they'll be able to tell you that they have a client or two whose significant other has no idea they've sought therapy. I tell you, that's something that maybe you should think about. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We'll do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Hi, this is Rick Walkley, owner of Value Plus Medical Supply. We take pride in our excellent customer service. In the medical supply business, it's important to know and understand the wide variety of customers' needs. We have a fully trained staff to assist you, a registered nurse, an orthopedic tech, medical supply tech, and EMT. We want you to have the best information possible to make a good decision. People come to us with their problems, and we have solutions. Stop by Value Plus Medical Supply on Mission in Wenatchee.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. It's been quite a year for any number of nonprofit organizations whose very existence is about helping those people who need a helping hand in trying times. And, well, the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council had, needless to say, a busy year. The executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council is no stranger to this program. His name is Alan Walker, and he joins us this morning. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Dan. Thank you for having me on.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, what a year it's been for you guys. You already had a high profile anyway in the Wenatchee Valley, and then COVID-19 hit, and all of a sudden you guys were one of the many organizations that ended up being in the driver's seat to help out people with all kinds of things, rent assistance and what have you. Just 2020 in a word, Alan, from your perspective.
Adaptive.
That's fair.
We adapted. We became very fluid and flexible in every aspect of our work. We transitioned from doing a lot of our work face-to-face to remote, as we are today as well. And how do you, prepare your staff and your customers and the systems that it takes in order to do that. And, it's a very different process. It's a much more time-consuming process. It's not an inexpensive process either. It's costly, to establish a system for staff to work remotely. As we did early on, we opened our office back up late July to the public. But for a period of about 4 months, from mid-August to mid-July, we were closed to the public. And how do you set up systems and functions to continue to provide services without seeing people face to face? Yeah.
When the CARES Act went into effect, somebody has to be the conduit for distribution of funds for rent assistance, emergency food assistance, stuff like that. Why the Community Action, Chelan Douglas Community Action Council? How did you guys fit in to that rather complicated governmental puzzle?
I think just based on our history of working in our community, we've been here since 1965. We've been a conduit of federal and local government funding for 55 years. And so our systems were in place to understand how to utilize government funding, and the partnerships that we have established at the state level and at the local level, with our city governments and our county governments and our federal offices, particularly, Department of Agriculture, Department of Commerce, and just understanding that we are an organization that has the ability to respond quickly and adapt quickly to needs within our community. And we have the systems in place to effectively track and monitor and utilize those government public dollars, our tax dollars coming into the community.
I had a chance to talk to our mutual friend Tom Nees from Serve Wenatchee Valley last week. He was effusive in his praise for your organization, and also he wanted to do a lot of shout outs to all the people who have helped during this crisis, helping those people who need the help. He was very happy with the work of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. He also singled out the Town Toyota Center, who kind of worked as that food bank. They had that very large building with nothing going on. You can't do it alone, can you?
We cannot do it alone, and we also had tremendous support from the National Guard. Early on, we made a request for Guard support in late March. We were one of 3 counties to put in a request for National Guard support early on, and we had Guard members here late March, and really a large contingency early part of April. I think at one point we had up to 31 National Guard members here helping with the food distribution process. The Town Toyota Center was gracious, opening their doors up and really providing us the space that we needed. Our existing warehouse, is about 5,000 square feet, and it doesn't accommodate 30 people. and all the food that was coming into the system and into our communities here, into the region of the Chelan Douglas County region. And so being able to work with the Town Toyota Center and their staff, utilizing that space that has been sitting idle since March, and really continue to have that serve the public that its original intention was here established for, was to be a service to the public, and it continues to be so. We moved out of there in November into another location. We're renting space from the Regional Port Authority for a temporary basis, but it really is the amount of space that we needed, both for dry storage, for bodies to work, for cold storage. We've had to expand our cold storage and our freezer storage, bringing in portable units. And I think sometimes people don't realize the size of space that it takes. We are renting a 53-foot refrigerator trailer for additional freezer space on top of the about 500 square foot walk-in freezer that we currently have, and the same with the cooler space. So it's much more than what even the school district or anything like that could accommodate. So,
you mentioned the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority. Full disclosure, my brother is the CEO of that organization. Is that going to be more of maybe a permanent partnership? I know you're looking to maybe move down into the warehouse district. Give me an update on that, Alan.
Sure. We had put a bid in for the lineage property there. No surprise. We weren't selected as the purchaser of that property. The port went with another entity, which is perfectly fine. That's just part of the process. So we continue to work with the port. We're still, we need to find a larger space. Our 5,000 square foot just is not going to accommodate us moving forward. We really need about 15,000 square foot warehouse. And so there aren't many of those in the area, but we continue to work with the port and other entities trying to identify a location.
Is this, for lack of a better term, Alan, is this the new normal? Do you foresee any time in the year 2021 where you guys can step back and just get a breather and COVID goes away and people start earning more money and need less of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council? Or is this where it's going to be for the foreseeable future?
We are not anticipating, unfortunately, a huge change through 2021. Even if we look back to the recession of 2008, that took years for people to recover from, and this was a far greater economic impact than '08 even thought about being. So this is not going to be something that all of a sudden we have the vaccine and everything is well and good and people are back employed and the economy is ticking. I think I'm hopeful our economy will recover, but it's not going to be a quick recovery. Too many businesses have, closed their doors either temporarily or permanently. Getting a workforce back, rehiring people, that all takes time. And we've had people coming into our door, seeking support for rental assistance and food assistance, utility assistance, who've never had to look for help before. And they're coming in and they're several months behind in rent or utilities. And how do you recover from that? Personally, if I was behind 6 months in rent, that recovery wouldn't happen overnight. Just because I became re-employed next week, paying off 6 months of rent is not an easy feat. Or on the other side, if it's a mortgage, a home mortgage as well.
The numbers are staggering. Just over the last 4 months, 1,256,000 and change in rent assistance for local residents in our area. Just in the last 4 months, all of this, of course, through the CARES Act. I find that number stunning.
It is stunning, and if you break it down a little bit further, that was 85 working days, Monday through Friday. We were doing on average about $14,800 a day for 85 days, 85 working days, and that was, helping on average 7 or 8 households every day, and it's a staggering number, and unfortunately, the funding of that particular program, we ran out of funding here just a couple of weeks ago, and we have over 100 individuals, households, families on a wait list that we're still seeking support, and I suspect that number will continue to grow.
Well, Governor Jansley has extended the eviction moratorium through the end of March, I believe. But if the piggy bank is dry, the piggy bank is dry. What's next?
Dan, that's probably one of the scariest things that we think about is, and it's also extremely challenging on the property owners. You think about the small business, the impact of small business, and a lot of the people that we were helping were renting from a family small business, that maybe had 5 or 6 rental units, and they have their own mortgages and their own cost to upkeep their property. And so it's this ripple effect. And if the revenue isn't coming from rent on their property, how do they pay their bills as well? So it really does start to impact not just the people that are renting the home, but the property owner as well. It has a huge impact on them. And so I lost track of where I was going with that comment, though, Dan.
Well, you bring up an important point, Alan. This vicious cycle that keeps going over and over again. I'm not making any money, so I can't pay rent, but I also can't be evicted. On the other hand, the person who owns my house or my apartment that I'm renting, they're not making any money. They're not getting any money from me because I'm not giving it to them, and then they got mortgage payments. How does this vicious circle stop or at least slow down?
And one of the things I wanted to comment on is that the Housing Alliance, the Washington State Housing Alliance, through their survey and identified about 38% of all renters would face eviction when the moratorium is lifted. So where do folks go? If you have 38% of all renters, about half the population rent and half the population have a mortgage. If 38% of those people all of a sudden are without a roof over their head, then what happens to our whole system? And I don't know, Dan, I really don't. I think we are going to be facing a huge challenge in 2021 on how do we continue to keep the whole system, and by the whole system I mean people that are renting, people that are, be it a large property owner or an individual that's renting out a room in their house, how do they continue to meet their obligations as well? I don't have an answer.
I wish I did. There is no easy answer, and there will be no easy answers as we move forward in the year 2021. This was not expected, was it? Back in February, the word started to trickle out. There's this strange pneumonia kind of thing that they don't know where it's coming from, and then boom, COVID hit everybody upside the head in March. You used the word adaptive to get through the year 2020. Do you have any good news? Can you have something we can hang our hat on to feel good about?
You know, I think the good news is that our community did respond, and we did as best as we could, and we pulled in partners. You talked about, you know, Tom Neese earlier, certainly a great partner of ours as well. The Town Toyota Center, and all the other entities in the community. We really pulled together and tried to figure out how do we do this to continue to meet the needs of our neighbors, and that's really what it came down to. And you know, if we just look at our food distribution system, you know, in 24 hours, we completely changed how we distributed food. You know, all the food pantries were, you know, operated primarily by volunteers, and most of the volunteers were in that age group that was deemed, you know, at higher risk to the virus. And so, how do you pull together as a community and continue to provide a much needed resource? Food is a pretty needed resource for individuals, for our subsistence. And how do you do that? And we really did that together as a community, you know, from the Town Toyota Center to partnering with Serve to our local fruit warehouse companies were donating boxes for us to use to fill with the food. It was just amazing, all the resources that came together to make it happen.
And it should be pointed out that my guess is a lot more people know what the Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council does now than they did on December 31st of last year. At least your profile is higher.
It absolutely is, and I think people have a much greater understanding of what a critical organization this is for our community. And you know, prior to you know, December of last year, in 2019, we assisted about 50,000 people in some way or another throughout our two-county area, and I'm not sure what that number will look like for 2020, but just looking at it from the food perspective and the rental assistance and the utility assistance, you know, pretty much all of those numbers for us have doubled this year.
And maybe it's best that we close with this thought, Alan. There were 1 year ago a lot of people on the just working their way up into the lower middle class, and they were getting a toehold on things, and then boom, COVID smacks us upside the head, and a whole bunch of people who never needed the services of the Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council now need it. Tom Neese used the word dignity. We need to keep our dignity about ourselves because we're human beings. I'm going to give you the final say, Alan, before we cut you loose. Whatever message you have out there for our viewers, go for it.
Well, I think dignity is a great word, but I think compassion, understanding, and time. Everybody is struggling differently as we start to recover, as we start to say, okay, what's 2021 going to look like for us? We're 2 days away from the new year. How do we, you know, wrap up 2020 and move forward? And I really think if we just try to keep compassion and understanding and patience as well as a part of that scenario, we'll come at the end of 2021 and we'll be a stronger, better community for everything if we just take that patience and that time.
Alan Walker is the Executive Director of the Community Action Council of Chelan and Douglas County, or the Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council. Either way, they'll answer to it. How can we help, Alan, before I cut you loose? How can the average person out there who watches this show, how can they help your organization out?
You know, the community has been really supportive of us, and you mentioned it earlier. I think the Awareness Community Action Council has increased tenfold this past year. Recognizing the work that we're doing in the community, the little bit of help that we're offering folks that really can make a difference at the end of the day. We have a lot of AmeriCorps members that are helping us out along with the National Guard. So we have a good volunteer base. We're always looking for volunteers, though, that might be interested in being a part of our work, and financial support. That's really probably one of the biggest ways to help is having some flexible dollars. A lot of the dollars that we receive, the public dollars, they have different restrictions tied to those. Our local public donor dollars, our individuals, our businesses, what they're able to provide to us really gives us some flexibility. So if there's somebody that's $1 over the income threshold and we have to say, sorry, we have another way to help.
Yeah, it's one thing to get income from governmental agencies, but it comes with a lot of caveats, and they really tie your hands in a lot of respects. But if you just donate money or time, it gives you a lot more flexibility to dispense those funds. So,
yes.
Alan Walker, Happy New Year, Alan. Say hi to the family for me. It's always good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Dan. Happy New Year to you, and we will chat in 2021.
Whenever you want to pay me a visit on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, you have an open invitation, Alan, always.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
It's the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event going on now at Pat Armstrong Ford. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Pat Armstrong Ford. Our deals are built for joy. Get 0% APR for 60 months on a 2020 Ford Expedition, plus $2,250 trade assist and 90-day deferred payment. Dash in for deals and save by the sleigh load. Unlock your merry today at Pat Armstrong Ford. We are community strong in East Wenatchee.
And we are back. It's still 25 degrees. The temperature hasn't moved at all since this show began. About an hour ago, there are still some reports of some pockets of ice fog, freezing fog, and there's still some winter driving conditions in many locations around north central Washington. But we're in for a fairly mild couple of days and then very warm for wintertime coming up over this holiday weekend. From the National Weather Service, one more time, here is your forecast for the last day of 2020. Cloudy. We're pretty much done now with the precipitation. We'll top off at 38 degrees, 31 for the overnight low. Still chance of it maybe a little bit of a light snowflake. Snow level, by the way, is going to go up to 3,300 feet by the time this day is over. Snow level tonight, 1,600 feet, but no real precipitation of the forecast. Don't look for anything. Overnight low of 31. New Year's Day, slight chance of a little bit of snow in the morning, then rain. If we get anything at all in the afternoon, snow level will go back up to about 3,400 feet on New Year's Day. Again, we'll top off at about 38 degrees. Look at your afternoon highs over the weekend. Saturday, cloudy, maybe a couple of light raindrops and a high of 42. Overnight low being above freezing at 35 degrees means we'll have snowmelt all day and into the evening hours on Saturday. Look at Sunday, mid-40s under partly sunny skies, and we'll stay mild and fairly wet being in the form of rain on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the first full week of 2021. Real quickly on the mountain passes, I want to pass this along. Traction tires are required on I-90. It's been snowing hard up there. Traction tires are required on Stevens, snowing hard, compact snow and ice. Traction tires are still advised on Blewett. All of the major mountain passes are getting snow. They're going to get significant snow. Snow levels are remarkable. 3 to 5 inches of snow today, a couple of inches tonight, 3 to 5 inches on Friday night, 2 to 4 inches on Saturday, 2 to 4 inches on Saturday night, 7 inches on Sunday. It's going to snow Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the Cascades. You were forewarned. That is it for us. Have a happy new year. We are off tomorrow. We'll see you on Tuesday, January 4th. Take care. Bye-bye.